Hello there. I'm Stacey the Place and welcome back to my channel. Today is a wonderful day to take a hot second to subscribe because we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers by June, and June is coming around the corner. But today we are going to do a little chat about this designer collection thing going on at Target, because I can't be the only person who's like feeling very frustrated with all of this. So first things first is that I am super grateful that I was able to get my hands on this beautiful, absolutely beautiful, totally worth the money caftan cover up from the Fe Noel and Target collection. But oh my gosh, the feats that I had to go through to find this, it was insane. So we can start out, like I'm sure you've seen my other videos that were kind of going through the different items that I was able to find from the three designers of the collection. And you may have seen my short about trying to find this one. Oh, it was a mess. And it's crazy because I was up at like 2 something in the morning Eastern Standard Time, and I like had my little Excel sheet ready to go. I had all of my browsers up. I had 3 different sets of windows on my computer, and like each of them was for each separate designer. And then I had clicked a tab for each of the items that I wanted to purchase online. And so I remember putting this caftan in there, and it was for one of my first orders because people kept saying, oh, the Fe Noel, like everyone's going to be into it, it's going to sell out. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I made sure I did the Fe Noel first and then went to the other designers to pick up theirs after I put that order through. No offense to them. It's just that's what the streets were saying. When the TikTok streets speak, then you listen sometimes. I don't know. That was just me. And so I had it in my cart, and then I go to checkout, and checkout is acting crazy because I was using PayPal, and they're like, oh no, something went wrong. And I'm like, okay, click it again, and then boom, everything goes through smooth sailing. I think nothing of it. I move on to like the next set of items that I wanted to order because I had to make sure I ordered over 35 so I get the free shipping. But it wasn't until I got through that second order that I was like, oh, well, like let the adrenaline chill just a tad bit. Let me go and look and like see what I've ordered, and am I happy with that, or do I want to place a third order? Y'all, I go and look, and this caftan is not in the order, and I'm like, this is crazy because I put it in the cart, and it when I looked at the cart, it like placed it as a save for later item, and it also placed the blue linen, or well, they're not linen, but like the blue line stripe pants. It also put those for save for later. I was like, what the heck? So then I go and click on them, and it keeps saying sold out. And I'm like, there's no way that it's sold out. It was only maybe 3:20 that we're talking here, like 3:20 in the morning, like crazy. But it was sold out, and I stayed up for about another hour, kept checking, and nothing. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I had plans for that morning, but I was like, you know what? It's cool. I'll just go to one of the 3 stores around me that's going to open, and whichever one opens first, I'll go there first, then jet over to the other one, and so I can be there. And it was crazy. The first store I was there, I pulled up at maybe like 6:45, sitting in the parking lot, then all of a sudden like a couple of more cars started accumulating. I was like, oh snap, this is getting real. And so it was about 6:58. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get out of the car, I'm gonna go to the door and look crazy, because I'm sure most of us look crazy out there to come and shop at Target when it first opens just for a collection. But I was there nonetheless, and there was 2 other ladies who had walked in with me as well, or like right behind me, and I was like, oh man, I'm just I'm looking, I'm taking it all in. I'm like, wow, so many items, and like it's just different when you like see it in real life in the store, as I'm sure you're used to. And so I was like, oh man, like I didn't see the caftan, and I'm like, okay, well, I can fool around in here till about 7:30 because the other Target was going to be about 25 minutes of a drive. So I'm like, okay, 7:30, bet. Like, let me try on the items that I didn't order online that I was kind of interested in, but it wasn't enough for me to go ahead and purchase it. Let me grab those, try them on, and then, if I like any of them, then I'll purchase them. If not, then not, and I just move on to the next Target, because I was mainly looking for this caftan and the blue pants. So, thankfully, as you saw in the video, like, some of the items I actually ended up really liking, and I picked some of them up. Went to the next Target. I was there maybe like 2 minutes or so after they opened, and it was hardly anybody in there, but they still, like, they didn't even have as many items as the first one did, which was wild to me, because I'm like, out of all the Targets in this area, there's at least 9 or 10, if not more, within like a 30-minute drive of where I live, and only 3 of them got the collection. And then out of all 3 of them, they're still missing pieces. Like, it just blew my mind. So I'm like, okay, well, let me look. Is there anything? And the other store, the third one that I was going to go to, it had already opened. So I was like, well, there's no like need to rush necessarily. So like, let me try on any items I was curious about, or even ones that I had ordered online. So that way, if I knew for sure the sizing that I picked I was happy with, then like, great. So did that, ran over to the other store before 9 o'clock. Like, y'all, the stores, I was in there from like in there from like 7 a.m. to about 9:30, because I had a brunch to be at, or a brunch to go to by 10. So we're not even talking like, oh, she was out there just lollygagging, taking her sweet tail time. That's why she couldn't find anything. No. I was up. Okay, I was there in the morning when all the stuff was there. I'm over there ducking and dodging the Target employees who are trying to do all the online pickup orders. I'm just like, I'm sorry, you need me to move? Like, what do you need me to do? Because that was a hot mess. But I couldn't find it, and I was so annoyed. So then, after that, I went to brunch. I had an eye doctor appointment and some other stuff. And it just kept weighing on me, because I'm like, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, maybe the Kaftan is like online only or something, but they just didn't explicitly say it. Maybe that's why I can't find it, and like, okay, boohoo, like, it is what it is. But then I kept seeing pictures on Instagram of people having it, or like people on TikTok, and they had it. And your first thought would be like, oh, they're probably an influencer, or they got it beforehand, da 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 da. But no, they were regular everyday people like me, like, and I'm just like, it has to be in a certain stores, and I'm just like missing it as to what store it is. So like a fool, around like 7 or 8 at night, there was 3 other stores that are just about within a 30-minute radius of me, but they were a little further out than the previous stores, because y'all, I was strategic. Like, I'm a nerd at heart, I can't deny it, and like, I will sit there and take the time to like accurately plan out, like, because I had the brunch, so I was like, I need to go, I can probably fit in 3 stores if I'm fast and like diligent. And so I need to strategically go to the first ones that open, and then after that, I need to go to the ones that are like the furthest away, and then ones that are closest. So then that way, when I'm done, I can be closer to the side of the town that I need to be on. So with the other 3 that I went to, those were like further away on a different side of town. So it would have just, so that's why I saved those for later. And of course I went there, and unfortunately, nope, couldn't find it whatsoever. And after that, so that was Saturday night, and I was just like, oh, so full of despair. And I was just like scrolling, like, this is so embarrassing, but I was scrolling through TikTok, y'all, and I like typed in Fe Noel collection in the little search thing, and I would put it for like unwatched, filter it for unwatched videos, and for ones in the last 24 hours, because I'm like, I need to see who has it, and if anyone in North Carolina has it, then I'll know. I can probably deduce and figure out what store it is with my little investigation skills. And I'm like looking, and people would have it, and it was like in, I believe in Atlanta there was one random store. There was one in Florida as well. Somebody else, I want to say it's Ohio, but I'm not 100% sure. But it was like somewhere in the Midwest, a random store. And there was this lady who had posted, like, saying that she was looking for it because it fell out of her cart, this, that, and the third. And other people were messaging, like, they had seen it at such and such a place and stuff. And so, I started thinking, I was like, well, if I go in the other direction tomorrow, I could go maybe about an hour away, and then I can hit up 3 stores on that side of town. And looking further west of the state, there were 3 more Targets that I could have went to, which are like located near Charlotte. I don't know. And I was like, but I don't really need, like, am I really gonna go all the way to Charlotte? That's crazy. So anyhow, so it kept weighing on me, and I was like, if I wake up early in the morning on Sunday to the point where I wake up an hour before the store opens, so I could legit make my coffee, get in the car, drive there, great, like, I'm gonna do it. And I just knew that I was gonna sleep because I was tired and like running off of like barely 5 hours of sleep. But no, my foolish self woke up early, and I was like, well, I mean, I didn't have any other plans for today, so I might as well go on this wild goose chase. So I got up and drove to the stores in Greensboro and what was the other store? High Point. And nothing. And then it also said that the store in Kernersville might have the store in Kernersville had the collection, but it was interesting because the ones that had the little stars for the extended sizes, those tend to have more items, or like not more as in quantity, but like more as in selection, as in they had more pieces of the collection. They also had more quantities, it seemed like, because they had the extended range of sizes. But compared to the other smaller Targets, like they have far more pieces from each collection. And so like I was strategically thinking, like, if it has the star, it's probably a higher chance that they're going to have the collection than if it doesn't have the star. And unfortunately, after those Targets, I still didn't find it. And then I looked on the little map because there was one lady who was in Huntersville, Charlotte. I believe it was Huntersville, Huntersville, North Carolina. Sorry, I don't even know why I said Charlotte, but it's near Charlotte. But she had found the blue pants, and so I was like, well, I mean, it's only about an hour away from where I am now. Like, I might as well just drive another hour and go and see. And so, of course, my foolish self drove another hour, and I went to the Huntersville one and the Mooresville one. No Kaftan. And like, this is freaking crazy. Like, absolutely crazy. So bizarre. Like, I have driven to all of the Western stores, like, at this point, except for Kannapolis. And I'm just like, this makes no sense. Where is the Kaftan? And so someone had posted that night, or yeah, like around that, no, someone posted that day that they had saw one in Wilmington. And I'm like, oh, okay, like Wilmington, that's only like an hour and some change or so away from where I live. Like, but do I really want to drive to Wilmington? I don't know. And they were like, oh, like, I'll go check and see if there's any left, and like let you guys know, because it was on this TikTok thread. And so I'm like, oh, okay, if this lady says she sees one, like, am I really gonna go drive down there? And then I look on Mercari, and these heifers are out here selling these things for like $150, $200. They were trying for $250. Some two, unfortunate souls ended up paying $150 for them, because you could tell like which ones sold, but the $250 ones were still sitting there looking dumb. And I'm just like, we would not have so much scarcity if people would quit this whole daggone resale game. Like, but that's a whole nother controversial subject, so we're not even going to go there. Anyways, so I checked my TikTok, and the lady had said that there was one small left in Wilmington. And so I messaged back, and I'm like, would it be crazy of me to drive from Raleigh tomorrow to get it? Because in my mind, I was just like wondering, is Wilmington like this super posh place? Like in my mind, if it was Atlanta or New York, I would already know there is no point in me driving, because even if it was at the store during that day, even during the middle of the day, I'm pretty sure it would have been gone by closing. And so the lady didn't message back, and then I woke up the next day and I was like, on the fence. I'm like, so I put the dogs in the car, and I was like, screw it. Like at this point, this is the only clue or like tip that I have to go on. Like, screw it, I'm going. And then later I had saw that the lady had offered that like if it was still there when she had got off of work on that Monday, then she could ship it to me and stuff. But my mama always taught me, it was like, if you want something, you need to go and get it yourself, because it's been so many sad little stories of when you like someone says that maybe they can do something and like it falls through, and then you're all brokenhearted because you had all this excitement and expectation. And I was just like, I'm not finna do that to myself. I'm just gonna get on this road and go. And so some people would say like, oh, why didn't you call first? And I'm like, because in the back of my mind, I was just like, I don't know who's out here trying to be a reseller. I don't know if somebody knows somebody or something at the store. I was like, I don't even want to bring attention to this kaftan. If it's there and it's meant for me, then it'll be. And clearly it was meant for me, because thank the sweet Lord that it was there, because part of me was going to be upset that I drove yet again another 2-hour drive for nothing. So y'all, I got there at maybe like, I think around 9:30. Yeah, around like 9:30. And I think the store had opened at 8. And I was on the road by 7, but I wouldn't get there until about 9:30. Just with like traffic and stuff. And so I like whip into the space, and I'm just, like, and I started to record, but then I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to record this if it goes bad. Like, oh no. I was like, nope. I'm just gonna walk in and let faith and just go on by faith. And so I like walk in, and there's this lady, and I remember her because she had like a little green purse and a white shirt, I think. And so like she was standing right next to this, and this was like in the middle of the Fe Noel section, and it's just like sitting there chilling there by itself, just like posted up like, hey girl. And so y'all, when I tell you I was like speed walking like a fiend to get over there, like, oh, it was a trip. So I like, I'm trying to be like chill, don't want to cause any attention, don't want to look crazy, and I'm just like, whoop, and I hurry up and I clutched this little kaftan to my chest. And then I picked up the red dress, and part of me was gonna try it on, and I was like, nah, F that. Like, I didn't came all the way here. I'm finna check out and go get me something to eat, because by this time, like, I was hungry and tired. Like, I was just so sleep deprived because I was just making foolish decisions to call a spade a spade. So yeah, so I was like super happy, super thankful, super grateful that I was able to get my hands on this, because it's so comfortable. I mean, it fits like a dream. I wore it when we recently just went out of town, and like the compliments were just coming on galore. So I've been wearing it just as a dress, with like, just as a dress. And, I know it's supposed to be a swimsuit cover up, but I mean, it's made like so nicely that it just, I don't know, it's a vibe. But yes, so, do in the back of my mind, because I know you're probably thinking that, you're probably like, I mean, was it really worth all that time and all of that gas that you spent going like 2 hours one side of the state, then 2 hours to the other side of the state? Like, by the time you do all of that and add it into the cost, it's still gonna be cheaper than the $150. I'm sorry to tell you, but it still was. For me, I love the thrill of a treasure hunt, although this one, I think this one is like this one is the one that has come the closest to me just being like, screw this, I just rather pay like a reseller price just to have the peace of mind. But the thing with that is that if you order or if you buy it from a reseller, then and it doesn't fit, like you're stuck with it, or you have to then resell it, and you already feel crazy because you know you're paying over the asking price for something, and you're hoping that somebody else is crazier, if not just as crazy, to buy it even close to the price that you purchased it for. And with Target and their sizing and these collections, like, it's a hot mess. And so it was just, it was a battle, but she's here and I love it and it's great. And you know, I mean, I guess this was my little adventure of the spring. I am hoping that the fall December collection is better, but yeah, I don't know. They cut up. You know, and then like, so speaking of Target and their collections, because I guess we'll just go ahead and call this is just gonna be a chit chat video, and this is going to be the rant part. So if you don't want to hear anything spicy or sassy, then thank you for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.